About 4 strides, and I thought, well, I'd better try and get there.
Well, at that point, you're through it, and Leicester's gone on the outside there.
That's right, and you're in front 2 out. It's a long way here, really, but I just let him idle for a little while, and then I thought, well, we'd better go. And he quickened up good. It's the first time he's really had a little bit of give in the ground. He's normally, all his races, he's run firm ground.
So he's won now over 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs an hour mile here.
5 first year, but he's an extraordinary horse. He's a June foal. I suppose that's what made. He's just, what, 4 now. Oh, he's amazing. He's run here 4 times. He's won 3 and been second in the Victoria Cup.
And is it that he just loves the place, or do you think that he's a summer horse as well?
Yeah, possibly. You get some horses take to some tracks, it suits him. He doesn't go downhill very well, you know. We went running once, twice downhill. He doesn't seem to cope with that, but here he seems to manage all right.
Well, life really begins at 40 for you, Brian, because it's been, in many ways, your greatest year. Your first classic win, of course, was Quick as Lightning.
Yeah, very good. Not so good in the Oaks, but...
Well, what happened in the Oaks to her?
I don't know. I think she more or less had an off day as much as anything. She's a little bit of a madam, as you'd say. Nothing mean about her, but I think if things don't go right, she just decides that's it. No, I was gone 6 furlongs out in the Oaks, and I chased her down the hill, but when I looked up, there was VL in front of me running away, so I thought, well, can't get by that anyway. And they just went away from her. I don't think she didn't stay. I think Mr. Dunlop's going to put a pair of blinkers on her anyway. And...
Well, he does tomorrow in the Coronation Stakes, but sadly you don't ride her up there.
No, well, I can't complain, can I? Willie and Pat have got the choice of the rides and the job. Well, I don't mind being third if it comes to that. It's worked out all right up to now, hasn't it?
Well, Brian, this is a trophy obviously well worth winning. Have you got any more worthwhile rides at the meeting?
I ride a nice 2-year-old tomorrow in the Queen Mary Welshwin. I think she's quite good. I wouldn't want any more or a lot more rain for her, but no, she's not bad. A bit temperamental, but pretty good. Baronet, the handicap has done him. Now he's got 10 stone, which with about 9.2 he would have had a fair chance, but 10 stone, it's a lot, isn't it?
Well, a great start to the meeting anyway.
And Tug of War going well within himself comes right there, and Assured right up on the outside also there, and Sea Pigeon's about 6 at the moment, but now picking up ground, and so they have about 2 furlongs still to go, and it's a little choose between Assured, Tug of War, then comes Palmerston, Sea Pigeon trying hard to get on term, Grey Baron also coming there with a run, and so they come now towards the final furlong. It's Tug of War, Assured, Grey Baron, Sea Pigeon on the near side, and inside the final furlong, Tug of War on the near side is Sea Pigeon and Mark Birch. They've got about 100 yards still to go, and it's Tug of War holding Sea Pigeon, and they come now inside the last 50 yards, and Tug of War wins it from Sea Pigeon, Grey Baron.
They've got about 2.5 furlongs left to race. All at sea, just the leader from on the stand side, Tug of War, then Caparello, Privy Consort improving, then comes Halodri, and Sea Pigeon beginning to improve quickly on the outside. We're going to 2 furlongs to race, and it's Tug of War in the lead. Tug of War from on the far side, All at Sea. Then comes Halodri staying on well. They've got about a furlong left to race, and it's Tug of War in the lead from All at Sea with Privy Consort, Halodri, and Sea Pigeon finishing fast, but as they race inside the final furlong, and it's Tug of War just holding on, but finishing very fast. Privy Consort, All at Sea, and Sea Pigeon, but as they race up towards the line, it's going to be Tug of War who just...
Started Dick Smalley at the top of the rostrum. Up goes Bill Reese's thumbs. That's it. Under orders for the Guineas, and they're away. Mrs. Penny bursts out of the stalls. Pompoes gets a fast one for France, and on the extreme outside is Grandola. And already the field beginning to split into what looks like 2 groups, although the main lot are coming right over to race on the near side. And it's just 2 or 3 right over on the far side who are headed by Grandola from Princess Matilda and Battle Wind. They've already completed nearly 2 furlongs, and Grandola leads right over on the far side from Princess Matilda and Battle Wind. Heading the group on the near side is Etoile de Paris for Ireland. After her comes Ararat, behind Ararat, very prominent Delaire, then Evita. Saison has a good position as well. Right over on the near side and somewhere behind the leaders at the moment is Leicester's Mount, Millingdale Lily, and towards the rear of the field, Gift Wrapped and Rapids. But it's 2 groups, the small group on the far side still headed by Grandola, but the other 20 on the near side, and this group appears to be in front, are headed just about by Etoile de Paris as they come now towards halfway in the 1,000 guineas. It's over to the grandstand and John Penny.
Etoile de Paris won the leaders on the near side with Star Chamber. Mrs. Penny right there with the leaders, also Evita and also well on terms with them on the far side too is Ararat, but leading them on the far side is Princess Matilda, and they're coming now past the bushes on towards the final quarter mile. And on the near side it's Mrs. Penny just about in the lead from Our Home. Then comes Étoile de Paris, then making a run on the far side. The leading group is Quick as Lightning. On the far side, Princess Matilda, but on the near side, it's Our Home and Mrs. Penny fighting out the finish from Quick as Lightning on the far side. Then comes Rapid. They're in the final furlong as they come up towards the line. It's Our Home and Quick as Lightning. Quick as Lightning now gets up in the last few strides. Quick as Lightning wins it from Our Home, Mrs. Penny. Then comes Millendale Lily, followed by Repeats, and then just after those, a whole host of horses. In fact, the last 2 or 3 are Battle Wind, and finally the last one over is Grandola. And so I don't know whether it has gone to a photo. It has indeed gone to a photograph. The outcome of the 1,000 guineas. As we wait for the outcome, let's pick up the closing stages once again as we rejoin Ken Butler.
And let's forget the 3 on the far side. Just for information, it's Princess Matilda and Battle Wind on the far side, but they're right out of it. On this side, Mrs. Penny has been, as she always runs so well, prominently throughout, and she's just about, I think, in the lead on this side. But making rapid progress, leading the middle of that group is Our Home, and coming on the wide outside of the lot is Quick as Lightning. And as they meet the rising ground, it looks like Our Home is just about getting the better of Mrs. Penny on the rails, and Quick as Lightning is under pressure, coming in a bit towards the others. You see, that's rather interesting. Under whipping his right hand there, and she's coming in a little bit. It looks as if Our Home has got the race won, but suddenly in the last 100 yards or so, Quick as Lightning straightened out and really goes for it, and really wins going away there. I think he's changed his whip hand too in the process. Really changes whip hand there and goes ahead. He wins from Our Home with, looks like Mrs. Penny to me is 3rd, Millingdale Lily is 4th, and Rapids, I think that is in 5th place. And this 5 well clear of the others.
And already the quotes are coming in for the Oaks, and the best price is the Tote, who have quoted 8 to 1 Quick as Lightning to complete the Guineas Oaks double, and 7s and also 6 various of the other leading anti-market layers. So the fact remains is the last filly that won the 1,000 guineas and the Oaks was Mysterious back in 1973. We still wait for the outcome of the photo, whether indeed Quick as Lightning can complete that double. But it really looked on the replay that Quick as Lightning has probably won it from number 14, Our Home, and possibly Mrs. Penny finishing 3rd. Chiquetta comes through the gateway. We didn't see much of her, followed by Sheer Beauty, who must have been left at the start because she finished a long way behind them. Evita in the apricot colours there, a disappointing run from her, and also a very disappointing run by Saison, who for my book was never really in the hunt. This is Perial with the white face coming through, was with the leaders to halfway, followed by Gift Wrap, Pieces of Gold, and then comes Leicester just behind Piece of Gold, just now totally blocked by Piece of Gold on Millingdale Lily. And the one with the white with the black sleeves, that's Étoile de Paris, who made most of the running on the near side until the battle really hotted up in the last quarter mile. Just waiting for confirmation of the result as we see the letter P still in the frame. And I think, as anticipated, the result is as we thought, but rather than give you a wrong reply, we're just confirm it. In fact, the numbers are now going into the frame. It has indeed been won by number 18, Quick as Lightning, owned by Mr. Ogden Mills Phipps, trained by John Dunlop and ridden by Brian Rouse. Second was number 14, Our Home, owned by Mr. P.A. Phillips, trained by Michael Stout and ridden by Greville Starkey. Third was number 13, Mrs. Penny, owned by Mr. E.N. Cronfeld, trained by Ian Balding and ridden by John Mathias. And fourth home was number 12, Millingdale Lily. That's the first 4 home, and the winning distances was a neck between first and second. And I'm just waiting for the next distance to go up half a length between second and third.
Looks about it. Take the blind off. They're all in, you heard. They're under orders and they're off. For the William Hill Cambridgeshire, and very quickly into its stride is Double Meaning. And that one leads from Majestic Star. Then just in behind these African Rhythm, and with them Pulse Rate, Paleo and Sacrilege up on the outside. And at the end of the first furlong and a half, it's Double Meaning and Pulse Rate from Paleo and Sacrilege. Then right on the inside, Princess Gate. Just in behind these comes African Rhythm. They have completed a quarter of a mile, and Paleo up on the outside. Right on the near side are Double Meaning, and with Double Meaning, Princess Gate. They've just got over 6 furlongs to go, and it's Paleo up on the outside and Double Meaning. Then right on the near side is Cardinal Flower. African Rhythm right with them, improving his one, Fleet Street. The back marker at this stage is Dromefs. They've just got under 5 furlongs to go, and Paleo in the lead from Cardinal Flower over to John Penny.
And just about 4 furlongs still to go, and on the far side Paleo, up the centre Princess Gate, African Rhythm on turns the leaders, on the near side Double Mean, and also Cannon King and Cardinal Flower. And so they have 3.5 furlongs still to go, and the lead still being disputed about Princess Gate. And then comes Pulse Ray come to join the leaders on the far side, so too does Sacrilege and Easter's Sun. And so they pass a 3 furlong from home mark. A little accused here between Pulse Ray, Sacrilege, Easter's Sun on the far side. On the near side, then comes Majestic Star, and they come past the bushes on towards the final quarter mile. Easter Sun on the far side, Sacrilege and Pulse Rate. That's the leading 3. Double Meaning on the near sing. Cannon King also under pressure, so too is Cardinal Flower. They go down into the dip, and it's Pulse Rate and Easter Sun battling it out. Then just behind them comes Baronet, also making a forward move, Atlantic Boy on the far side. Then comes All Night. They pass the furlong from home marker. Easter Sun now maintained on by Pulse Rate and Baronet on the near side. Atlantic Boy trying to come through on the far side. They got about 100 yards still to go, and it's Baronet now takes a fractional lead at the line. Baronet just beating Dromefs for me, and in third place Pulse Rate, Double Meaning. Then comes Tender Heart, followed in by Fine Blue. After that, Atlantic Boy, Easter Sun, and Ponro, a whole host including Princess Gate, and one of the last ones over at Majestic Star. And so
a mile and 3/4 of the trip for this Tote Ebor. That's it. They're all installed and they're all on their way. Bedford up on the outside broke out smartly. Yellowhead and More Harmony. And as they begin to settle down, it's Bedford going on from Sage King now, who takes up the running. Sage King from Bedford and Yellowhead. Then comes Caradar and Military Band close up on the heels of the leaders. The back marker at this stage is Kilby Cavalier. And also towards the rear is another Sam, but he normally drops himself out in the early stage of the race. And Yellowhead now just has the fractional advantage as they continue their journey down the far side. Although disputing the lead and just shading him now are both Caradar, Feelings and Sage King. So it's Feelings up on the outside from Sage King. Then comes Bedford, and behind Bedford is Yellowhead, then Caradar, a Military Band, and Sir Laura Lady, and behind Sir Laura Lady, Bucklow Hill, then More Harmony and Dragon Palace, then Lusitanica and Black Mike, and the back markers include Engulf, and also towards the rear is another Sam, as Feelings goes on to make it a real cracking gallop. From Sage King in second place, and Bedford, the well-backed Bedford, Greville Starkey, deputising for Pat Edery in third place, and Yellowhead is 4, then Caradar 5, and Military Band 6, and Sir Laura Lady 7, Bucklow Hill is 8, and behind Bucklow Hill is Dragon Palace, behind Dragon Palace is More Harmony, then Black Mike, then Lusitanica, then Engulf, then Kilby Cavalier, and the back marker another Sam, but Feelings still leads. Just over a mile to go. Feelings in the lead of a couple of lengths. 2 in second place on the inside, Sage King. Then comes Bedford, so it's Feelings, Sage King, Bedford. Then Yellowhead and Caradar and Military Band. Then just in behind these comes Bucklow Hill. Sir Laura Lady up on the outside. 7 furlongs to go. In the Tote Ebor, and Feelings for the north in the lead. From Sage King in second place, also for the north. Then in third comes Bedford. Then up on the outside of Bedford, Caradar making ground. Then Yellowhead, then the favourite Military Band, Leicester Piggott, poised on the heels of the leaders. 6 furlongs to go. And as they begin the turn into the home straight, it's Feelings in the lead from Bedford in second place. Feelings the leader from Bedford second, then Sage King is third. Another Sam is still towards the rear, so too is Engulf. Black Mike is making up a lot of ground up on the outside as they level out into the home straight with just over 4 furlongs to go. And it's Feelings in the lead from Bedford. Spot the 2 nose bands, and Bedford now going on. 4 furlongs left to race at the Tote Ebor. Bedford from Caradar, Military Band going ominously easily up just in behind the leaders. Dragon Palace coming with a run. Black Mike there, Sir Laura Lady just in behind the leaders. Then comes Sage King, a wide open handicap this with 3 furlongs left to go. Bedford just in the lead with Lusitanica coming very, very wide up on the outside. Bedford, Caradar, Lusitanica, Black Mike, then Bucklow Hill. Then another Sam finishing fast, 2 furlongs left to go. And Lusitanica and Alan Mackay now committed, going for home. From another Sam in second place, 1.5 furlongs to go. And it's Lusitanica in the lead from Bedford, another Sam. Then Caradar and Black Mike and Dragon Palace. Then Bucklow Hill. And it's another Sam now who comes up to challenge Lusitanica and go past her. It's another Sam in the lead from Lusitanica in second place. Another Sam second in this race last year, going on now clear. Another Sam clear from Lucy Tannicker, Carador and Bedford up the line. Another Sam the winner, Lucy Tannicker second. Then came Carador in third place, and behind him came Bedford, then Bucklow then Military Band, and behind Military Band Kilby Cavalier, then More Harmony and Sonora Lady and Feelings, then in go from Black Mike and Sage King, and yellow towards the rear, and also towards the rear was Dragon Palace. And so the result of this, the Tote Ebor, is a win for number 5, Another Sam, owned by Mr. J.H. Norman, trained at Marlborough by Richard Hannon, ridden by Brian Rouse, number 38 of the season for him. Second is number 10, Lucy Tannicker, ridden by Alan Mackay, and third was number 3, Carador, ridden by Walter.
The Water Stakes was for fillies who'd never run at all. Road to the Top was made favourite but missed the break. Elysian and Lebanese Song had their supporters. But the significance here was to catch a first sight of Habibti.
He runs in fourth and improves from this position, while after these comes Elysian, making a little bit of ground. Prior's Mistress on the inside of this one. Then Road to the Top, followed by Shoreline, and on the inside of Shoreline, Flying Friend. They've got a furlong to race now. Habibti comes to take it up just inside the furlong pole. They've got a half to go now, and it is Habibti from on the far side, Lebanese Song, running on a little bit Elysian, but it is Habibti a clear leader.
First, Habibti. Second was Elysian. And third, Lebanese Song.
All installed, under orders, and they're on their way. Pretty ragged start. Mysterious Arthur a little bit slowly into his stride. Farry-Offer off there, and it's Lobkowitz going on. Lobkowitz in the lead from Sabre Dance in second place and Senior Citizen third. Then comes Erin's Island, Criterion and Ivano, followed by Stanera, Farry-Offer, Mysterious Arthur, and the back marker is Commodore Blake. Lobkowitz in the lead, showing the way to Sabre Dance and Senior Citizen, then Criterion and Erin's Hope, and behind Erin's Hope is Ivano and Stanera and Farry-Offer. The back marker is still Commodore Blake as they continue their journey down the far side of the track. Lobkowitz next to the rails, then Senior Citizen to the right of him as we look at them. On the outside is Sabre Dance, and these are followed by Mysterious Arthur. Then comes Farry-Offer and Erin's Hope, and behind Erin's Hope is Ivano, and towards the rear is Commodore Blake. Criterion in the mid-division at this stage. Lobkowitz next to the rails. From Senior Citizen on the outside of him. Then Sabre Dance and Criterion and Erin's Hope. Behind these comes Mysterious Arthur, Farry-Offer being scrubbed along. Commodore Blake is the back marker, but it's Senior Citizen on the outside of Lobkowitz. These are tracked by Criterion, who's improved to go up on the outside of Erin's Hope. These are followed by Stanera. Behind Stanera is Ivano. Then comes Sabre Dance. They're in line for home. 3.5 furlongs to go. Lobkowitz has now been passed by Senior Citizen. Senior Citizen, Lobkowitz with Criterion close on their heels. Then comes Erin's Hope. Commodore Blake has made up ground. Ivano is coming wide. So too is Stanera. 2.5 furlongs to go. Senior Citizen from Stanera, then Ivano. And it's Stanera now that strikes the front. Inside the final quarter mile, Stanera in the lead from Ivano. Erin's Hope next to the rails. Stanera in the lead from Ivano. Erin's Hope, Sabre Dance. Commodore Blake, Criterion, Senior Citizen, Lobkowitz. A furlong to go. And next to the rails, it's Stanera that has the advantage from Ivano, who's under pressure. Stanera, beaten in this race last year, has a length of the good over Ivano. Stanera in the lead from Ivano. Erin's Hope, Commodore Blake and Sabre Dance coming up towards the line. Stanera by a length. Stanera's the winner. Ivano is second. Erin's Hope is third. And then came Sabre Dance and Commodore Blake in a photo for 4. A big gap then for Senior Citizen, Lobkowitz, Farry-Offer, a disappointing run. And behind that one came Criterion, and last of all was Mysterious Arthur. And so the result of this, the Brigadier Gerard Stakes, is a win for number 15, Stanera, owned and trained in Ireland by Mr. Frank Dunn, ridden by Brian Rouse, giving him his 17th winner.
Our year now goes to Royal Ascot, most of which viewers at the time were denied because of a TV blackout. So here, for the first time in many cases, are some of the highlights of Royal Ascot 1983. We have to start with that extraordinary Irish mare, Stanera. Here she is on the Tuesday, sprinting away with the Prince of Wales Stakes.
And Lobkowitz, who's made much of the running, leads from Erin's Hope.
The two leaders followed by Decree and Ferry Offer. Then Stanera and Sabre Dance are trying to improve. They're coming to the final 2 furlongs, and it is Lobkowitz showing just in the lead. Stanera on the rails now coming through to join the leaders. Cannon King finishing strongly on the outside with Commodore Blake, but as they race down towards the final half furlong, and it is Stanera the leader from Commodore Blake approaching the line, and Stanera is well clear from Commodore Blake and Sabre Dance.
First, Stanera. Second, Sabre Dance. Third, Commodore Blake.
That may have been good, but 3 days later in the Hardwick, Stanera was even better. In fact, faster than any horse at Ascot has ever been. 1.5 miles in 2 minutes 26.95, and that's travelling.
2.5 furlongs to race now. La Fontaine, Stanera upsides and taking it up well before the 2 furlong pole. So at the quarter it is Stanera who has gone clear. Electric on the outside takes second from La Fontaine. Criterion is after these, and Be My Native and Gel Mood. Misa even after these in Old Country and Say Primula. And the leaders coming inside the distance now. Stanera, Electric in hot pursuit, and these two going away from the others. They've got a half furlong to go. Stanera for the second time this week. Close home now, Stanera. From on the outside then Electric, and then a long gap to Be My Native.
First, Stanera. Second, Electric. Third, Be My Native.
Some ardent trouble, but it's Salmon Leap who's in the lead. Cloud's Daughter is second. Then in third place is Rare Horizon with Ranapur, and then Wassel, and after that comes Homeowner. And Pat Edry certainly looks in some kind of trouble, even though he is in the lead. It could be that he's lost an Arden, but he's out there in front bidding for victory over this 1.25 miles. And it is Salmon Leap who's in the lead. Wassel is improving on the outside. Cloud's Daughter is along the inside. Here comes General Home just after them. Homeowner is after these. Stanerian in the middle of them. They've got 2 furlongs to race now, and Wassel has moved up on the outside of Salmon Leap. Then improving on the wide outside is Stanera, and on the wider outside is General Home. And here comes Stanera. Stanera has hit the front, and here she comes, the Wonder Mare, inside the final furlong. And it's Stanera racing away. Stanera going down to the finish. She's going to win it. Stanera has won. Wassel is second. General Home is third. And after that is Condell, and then Salmon Leap with the Ardens gone. Then comes Parliament. Homeowner is next. After that comes Cloud's Daughter. After Cloud's Daughter, Ranapur, and then Rare Horizon and Captivator, the last one. For the Arcs, you can have 10-1 Stanera from Ladbrokes. That is the result of that very smooth victory indeed. But there's no doubt that Pat Edry was in trouble from the time the race started, and we noticed that he wasn't sitting with his usual perfect rhythm and what have you, and he obviously has lost an Arden. You can see him up there on the right. You can see the legs right down. He looks like Fred Archer the way he's going up there now, and Stanera up there alongside him. We'll try and find out exactly where and when it happened by the time we come back for the Silken Glider, but there's no doubt that Stanera has won, that Salmon Leap didn't have a snowballs from the time the race started. Let's go back now and have a look at how Stanera came through and won so brilliantly.
Yes, indeed, and Stanera, a marvellous mare, really, when you reckon that she has been off the track since she finished fourth, and unluckily fourth in the Eclipse Stakes. Hasn't been given a lot of racing, a lot of work at home with this race in view because she's such a busy programme. But lack of homework is proving no problem to her now as she comes along to head Wassel and take his measure. He has struggled on, but really, there's no battle against this. You can see Pat Edry just fading out of shot there, unable to give any assistance to Salmon Leap. So how he would have found a whole string of horses pass him there as the horse pulls himself up. But up in front, Stanera, extending her sequence, adding her another Group 1 race to her record. She won one of these, the Hardwick at Ascot, now won another one here in Ireland, and has won thoroughly on merit. Although what would have happened if but for the accident to Salmon Leap? Well, that's
on their bottom all of the way, moves in nice and quietly. Well, for me, this is one of the most excited Waterford Crystal races we've seen. Garitas is still favoured at 13-8. Adonijah 11-4, Sandhurst Prince 6-1, 8-1 bar those three. Joe goes in on Shoes. As I was saying, a real cracker of a race is to watch. So why don't we take this chance with Sandhurst Prince going in nice and quietly to join Peter O'Sullivan.
And last year's winner, Sandhurst Prince, the last to be installed. They're under starters orders and they're away. And No Alcoholic goes straight into the lead. No Alcoholic from Adonijah. Then Sandhurst Prince and Garitas and Shoes, and Montekin is the back marker. No Alcoholic being joined by Sandhurst Prince now on his inside. Sandhurst Prince disputing it with No Alcoholic. Adonijah comes next, and then comes Shoes, and then Garitas. Montekin is the back marker. They're racing already down towards the home turn, and last year's winner Sandhurst Prince is in the lead. From No Alcoholic in second. Then comes Shoes, then Adonijah, then comes Garitas, and finally Montekin. Sandhurst Prince blazing the trail from No Alcoholic, then comes Shoes, then Adonijah, then Garitas. Behind Garitas is Montekin as they run down towards the home turn. Willie Carson had a look over his right shoulder there, riding Garitas. It looked a replica of the Dewhurst to see if something had gone wrong, but it certainly hasn't. He's improving well towards the outside. They're coming down to the 3 furlong pole. Sandhurst Prince being pressed by No Alcoholic. Garitas coming there strongly on the stand side with Adonijah upsides him. They're coming down to the 2 furlong pole. No Alcoholic, Sandhurst Prince, Garitas towards the right of the picture. Adonijah just in behind him, and then comes Montekin. They're racing towards the furlong pole in the Waterford Crystal Mile, and it's Sandhurst Prince being pressed by No Alcoholic. Garitas under pressure. Then comes Montekin and Adonijah. It's Sandhurst Prince from Montekin and No Alcoholic, and Garitas and Adonijah trying to get on terms. It's Montekin now who's come to take it up as they race into the closing stages. It's Montekin from Sandhurst Prince and Adonijah, and as they come to the line, Adonijah putting in a great run, but Montekin wins it from Adonijah. Montekin is the winner and Adonijah is second. They're the 1-2 in the Waterford Crystal Mile. It's going to be a photo for third, but no doubt about the 1-2. His first triumph since his 2-year-old days for Montekin. It's a photo for third, but the winner, number 3, Montekin, owned by Mr. Peter S. Winfield, trained by John Dunlop and ridden by Brian Rouse. Second was number 5, Adonijah, owned by Prince Khaled Abdullah, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Lester Piggott. And it's a photograph for third place with possibly No Alcoholic just achieving third off Sandhurst Prince. These two with Garitas involved in that photo. A dramatic incident in the race took place before the home turn where it looked as though Willie felt he looked several times down to his right. At that time, he was upside the winner, whom we're looking at now, Montekin. They were 5th and 6th, respectively. But a marvellous triumph this for Montekin. The first triumph in this race for John Dunlop since he won it in 1974 with Pitcairn. Number 40 of the season for Brian Rouse. And what a wonderful race to win as your first race since winning as a 2-year-old. The Waterford Crystal Mile worth $21,269 to the winner. Here he is the winner. Let's review that incident with Julian Wilson involving Garitas and the closing stages.
Well, what a dramatic race it was, because they've gone into the bend at a terrific pace. Sandhurst Prince up front, having pulled his way into the lead. Montekin is last at this point with the white sleeves, and keep your eyes on him. Garitas is right on the outside, but as they come round the bend there, Montekin just comes a little bit off the fence, and No Alcoholic is in the lead, upside. That's where those two horses seem to come together, Adonijah and Garitas, and quite possibly there, that was what led to Willie looking down to see whether there was anything amiss with his horse. Anyway, Sandhurst Prince is in front here from No Alcoholic. On the outside is Garitas. Montekin making ground on the inside. And look at Adonijah and Lester Piggott. He's got absolutely nowhere to go. And there's no doubt, in my opinion, that this is a day Lester will want to forget. He can't get out. Perhaps he should have taken back now to go round. But he's hoping a gap's going to come there that's big enough for him to go through. But it's not big enough because George Duffield's riding with his whip and No Alcoholic. And Montekin has just come off the rails. And Lester, with all these suspensions, doesn't dare go for the gap. So he switches to the inside of Montekin, hopes that that's going to split up. But Greville's still in front on Sandhurst Prince. Montekin's upside him now. Lester's still desperately looking for room, and it's not coming. There goes Adonijah's head through, and now Lester feels he can go. But they're so close to home now that it's too late. Montekin's won on the line from Adonijah second with a close thing for third.
Yes, it sure is close for third, but as we said, no doubt about this. 8-1 winner. Got a grateful pat there from Brian Rouse. one of the biggest successes of Brown's career, although of course he rode a classic winner for John Dunlop. So a great local triumph this. Trained right here at Arundel, this 4-year-old by Mount Hagen out of Sweet Relations by Skymaster. It's his 10th run of the season.
Stands up well, and they're off and running now. In the 1984 Japan Cup, and McGinty's jumped well from his wide draw. He's leveled up with Tom Boss now on the inside and going for the lead all right. There's Hagino Camillo as they go down towards the judge the first occasion. And Hagino Camillo, the Japanese clap as he goes past the post the first time. Let's hope it's not the second round. Now Tom Boss works into second. McGinty, Bob's done a grand job on him. He's dropped him over third. He's about 4 lengths behind Tom Boss. Right behind these is Esprit du Nord, then the French horse, followed out wide. Amber Shed Eyes trapped wide, leaving the straight, and then followed in that Kai Promise. Then, boy, this bloke's gone mad on the leader already. Shot away about 6 lengths. Last in the early part of the racing now is Daring Grass, and back there also Cilio Rufo. The English Hope High Hawk is third last and about 20 lengths off the leaders as they work into the back. And we'll start with the leaders once again, but Stelnero is about midfield. And here he goes in the lead, Hagino Camillo, the Japanese horse, and he's got a break of 12 to 15 lengths on Tom Boss. 2.5 to then Esprit du Nord. McGinty settled on the inside about a half length away. Amber Shadow comes next, then Katie Promise, followed round then by Aaron Zyle. On the inside of it is then next the Japanese horse Takara Nenyu. Then followed on the inside of these then is Stenera. Half ice to 10, Stenera on the outside of it. About 2 lengths back behind these then as they work in is Machiro Titan the Grey. Back on the outside of that lot then is High Hawk in that group, Canadian Fact Up, and well back towards the rear. Daring Grass and the Italian is last of all. They work in now with about 800 metres. This is a big track and a long way to go yet. And it's still Hagino Camillo away by about 3. Chasing hard now the Italian are going up French horse, Esprit du Nord. McGinty's coming one off the rail and he's right poised in behind the leaders with Tom Boss. Then followed round Kai Promises. They work in with about 600 metres to go. Coming to the turn now, and that leader's collapsed, and now taking over is Amber Shadow. From right there is Esprit du Nord. McGinty's got the rails running, 2.5 off them. They work towards the big hill in the straight now, and the leader is, it's the Japan horse, all right. Amber Shadow just from on the inside now. Esprit du Nord, McGinty's coming at them, and he's travelling well. He's got a big chance now with 300 metres to go. Out wide, Kai Promise, and here's Stenera right on the track, a big run. Down to the 200, Stenera's made the lead. McGinty on the inside, trying hard with Esprit du Nord, and Kai Promise, the Japanese horse right in it. Stenera in front, McGinty's coming through on the inside, he can't make it. Stenera in front, going to the post, and she's won. Stenera from Kai Promise, second, the Japanese horse. Third was Esprit du Nord. McGinty was in a photo with half ice for the 4th and 5th placings. They were followed home next by Amber Shadow. Next behind these, then as they went across the line was Cilio Rufo.
83 Tote Cesarewitch. Well, they come out in a very even line and spread right across the course. Wordsworth is a pretty prominent one after the first half of furlong. This one in the centre as they come towards us. Well, on the wide outside, High Easter is well up with them, Donegal Prince. On the inside of this one, KUD in the leading line. Just after them comes Moon Mariner racing on the inside of this one, and not too far away is Master Boatman just after the leaders. But at the end of the first quarter of a mile, it is KUD on the outside, and this one matching strides with on the far side, the one who was fast away, High Easter. These two are setting the pace, and it's a fairly steady, sensible one at present, with coming up to join these now Lucky Ivor, and on the inside with Lucky Ivor, Duke of Dollis now not too far after them. Tentworth racing on the inside, Moon Mariner just after these, and then Asserta among the back markers as they go slightly downhill now. We have Popsy's Joy, and last of all is Cavalier Serventi. So coming along, as you see, still the one on the wide outside. In fact, he was drawn from the #1 position. On the outside, we have High Easter, but this one now giving way, in fact, to Lucky Ivor. Lucky Ivor taking it up with one of the earlier front runners, High Easter, and then KUD, and now we go back to Rawley Gilbert on the ditch.
Yes, Lucky Ivor still. Lucky Ivor from KUD and High Easter, then Tentworth pretty close. Also right up there with the leaders is Duke of Dollis, then comes Wet Bob. Mayop, the favourite, is not far behind. and Prince March spot his red blinkers as they start to make the turn for home now. They're roughly a mile and a quarter out in the Tote Cesarewitch, where the two back markers are Inchgower and Cavalier Saventi, but up front it's still Lucky Ivor, High Easter, then KUD. After these come Wet Bob, then Tentwort, then Fortune's Guest. Right Regent is quite well placed, so is Mayop, then Duke of Dollis. After these, Dark Proposal. Moon Mariner got into a bit of trouble there. Fortune's Guest comes next, and they're past halfway now in the Cesarewitch, and it's Lucky Ivor over on the far rails, just in the lead from High Easter. Very little choose between these two there, followed by Donegal Prince now moving up into third. Four is now Moon Mariner. Then comes Tentwork, Duke of Dollis, Wet Bob, Fortune's Guest, Right Regent, Bajan Sunshine making a move now, and then comes Mayot. They're coming now towards the final 3/4 of a mile, and Donegal Prince and Wet Bob coming up on the outside of KUD and Lucky Ivor. After these, High Easter, then Duke of Dollis, then Mayot making very good headway on the near side. Then comes Bajan Sunshine, Master Boatman and Prince Marge. A wide open Cesarewitch as they race now towards the final 5 furlongs. And up front, Lucky Ivor gives way to High Easter, Donegal Prince, and here comes the mare Mayot. Cavalier Savent is still towards the rear of the field, and with the leaders now, Mayot coming through to take it up over to Graham.
Mayot in the lead. Pops' Joy coming very fast indeed, coming out of the pack, but it's still KUD, High Easter and Mayot, with Bajan Sunshine finishing well. Pops' Joy finishing best of all. They've got 3 furlongs to go, and the favourite Mayot now being joined by Pops' Joy and Bajan Sunshine. These tracked by KUD and Fortune's Guest, and then behind these comes Master Boatman, Contester. They've got just 2 furlongs to go, and Bajan Sunshine strikes the front from Mayot, with Pops' Joy, KUD on the far side. These clear from Fortune's Guest, who's in turn clear of the Moon Mariner. They've got a furlong and a half to go, and it's Bajan Sunshine and Pops' Joy. Pops' Joy on the near side, Bajan Sunshine on the far side. Pops' Joy just proving the stronger, well inside the final half furlong, but Bajan Sunshine is fighting back. Bajan Sunshine and Pops' Joy. Bajan Sunshine, Pops' Joy, man, with finishing very fast, Contester, but at the line, it's Bajan Sunshine from Pops' Joy, Contester and Mayot, and then KUD and Moon Mariner, then Prince Marge and Fortune's Guest, and Abdul and Asserter and Sneak Preview, and Tentwort and McKelly and Wordsworth and Donegal Prince and Master Boatman. Then came Cavalier Saventi, and behind these came Inchgower, and towards the rear, Wet Bob, also towards the rear, Lucky Ivor, High Easter, and the back marker was Alistair O'Mavros. And so the result of this Tote Cesarewitch, it's a win for number 7, Bajan Sunshine, owned by Mr. P.C. Green, trained at Epsom by Rod Simpson and ridden by Brian Rouse. Second was number 3, Pops' Joy, ridden by Steve Keithley, Sean Keithley, I should say, and it's a photograph for 3rd place between Mayot, ridden by Pat Edery, and also in that photograph is number 17, Contester, ridden by Philip Robinson, the Sedgefield trained horse who finished best of all. But it was a real battle, a battle royal in the final furlong. Let's review the closing stages with
Brooks. These 5 in very close company. They're somewhere away from Patrizio, who leads the others. Inside the final quarter now, Alphabetum on the rails and Trojan Fen, now just ahead. Then Falstaff, close up, Seismic Wave after this, and then Golden Ivory 5 inside the distance now. Trojan Friend, but Alphabetum goes on the rail, and this one takes it up by a small margin. Under 100 yards to go now, and it is Alphabetum from Trojan Friend, Falstaff and Seismic Wave.
First, Alphabetum. Second, Trojan Fen. Third, Falstaff. Ground up on the outside. Consolation comes under pressure. Faison La Romaine makes ground. Weakening is Arabian Moon. Also improving Top Socialite. Happy Hannah, Nesting Time and Glide By. Little to choose between these 3. Then comes Faison La Romaine coming with a run. Look at next to the rails. Top Socialite improving. A furlong and a half to go. And Happy Hannah, Nesting Time, Glide By, Top Socialite. Faison La Romaine eating up the ground on the outside. With just over a furlong to go. It's Faison La Romaine and Happy Hannah from Nesting Time and Glide By, who's putting in a renewed challenge. Top Socialite not done with, and also coming with another run, just squeezed out of it. There was Nesting Time inside the final furlong. It's going to be desperately close. Vaison La Romaine with Dance Machine finishing very fast. Dance Machine has won it in the last 50 yards, came from last to first. Dance Machine, Glide By, Vaison La Romaine.
And then come Corn Street, Ambrosini, and then King of Spades coming to the 3 furlong pole. Joyful Dancer, Top Wing over on the far side, King of Spades on the near side, Ambrosini between horses, Corn Street travelling very well just in behind the leaders, making it round towards the near side. The stand side is below 0. past the 2 furlong pole. Corn Street with his white face coming there very strong now to tackle Joyful Dancer. Top wing over on the far sand. Below Zero's improving fast. Highest Praise also and Ambrosini as Corn Street now drops out and Gold Prospect comes there in the centre to take it up. It's Gold Prospect now as they race into the closing stages from Below Zero. Gold Prospect going away from Below Zero. Highest Praise in third at the line. It's Gold Prospect the winner. Below Zero second. Highest Praise third, and 4 was Hello Sunshine. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4 in this Schweppes Autumn Handicap. First, number 17, Gold Prospect. Owned by Mr. Harvey Spack, trained by Toby Balding, ridden by Brown Rouse. Second was number 13, Below Zero, owned by Mr. Terry Ramsden, trained by... Break fast towards the near side, and it's Orient the early leader. Orient going on from Treasure Key and Sharp Romance with Chili Bang showing very good speed. Over towards the far side, that's the grey in the centre. Singing Stephen running fast with La Petite Noblesse, but Orient, the leader, on the right of the picture under the stands rail from Chili Bang over on the far side. Then La Petite Noblesse. Behind them comes Singing Stephen, then Respect, and then Carol's Treasure making a little bit of ground over on the far side. Treasure Keys drop back to last, and it's Orient still with the advantage. Chili Bang in second, then La Petite Noblesse, and then Carol's Treasure making ground over on the far side. Now Treasure Keys getting into top gear and beginning to run over on the far side, and it's Carol's Treasure now who's taken it up from Singing Stephen. Carol's Treasure and Singing Stephen. Treasure Key still coming there strongly on the far side. Carol's Treasure, Singing Stephen as they race up towards the line. There's very little between them. It's Carol's Treasure and Singing Stephen and Treasure Key. It's a photo between Singing Stephen, Carol's Treasure and Treasure Key. Singing Stephen on the near side, Carol's Treasure in the centre, Treasure Key, who made up so much ground in the closing stages over on the far side. Don't think he's quite got his head in the picture. I think we'll find it's between Carol's Treasure and Singing Stephen, but it's very close indeed. Let me just recap the letter P in the frame to indicate it's a photo finish between Carol's Treasure and Singing Stephen.
Gamble and Sylvan Tempest and Resolute Bay and Centre Tekla and Sharp and Early. And at the end of the first furlong in the pink jacket, Sylvan Tempest comes through to share the lead with Weldness in the light blue cap. Between these races, Frequent Flyer, and the yellow colours on the outside, yellow and red, that's Sharp and Early, living up to his name. Santa Tekla behind those, and they come down to the half of the 4 furlong marker. Sharp and Early towards the right of the picture with Sylvan Tempest, and then behind that one, Frequent Flyer and Weldness. Luge is on the extreme left of the group. Resolute Bay is switched to the wide outside. They're well past halfway. Sharp and Early just has it from Santa Tekla in second. Weldness on the stand side with Luge. Both these coming under pressure, but both responding with a furlong and a half to go. Wide open race, and Luge just has it. Sharp and Early down the centre of the track. In between these comes Weldness. Barry's Gamble is finishing best of all. Santa Tekla looks held for a place, but it's Sharp and Early keeping up the gallop. Luge is trying to tackle it. Sharp and Early goes on though to go up towards the line. Sharp and Early wins it. Luge is second, Weldness third. Santa Tekla 4, Barry's Gamble 5, Frequent Flyer 6, Sylvan Tempest 7, and Resolute Play flattered at halfway but dropped away to be last. And so the result of the Scottish Equitable Gym Crack, it's a win for number 12, Sharp and Early, owned by AF Budge Equine Limited, trained at Marlborough by Richard Hannon, and Brian Rouse's 36th winner of the season. Second is number 7, Luge, ridden by Michael Roberts. Third is number 14, Weldness, ridden by Walter Swinburne. Sharp and Early has given the bookmakers some 14-to-1 relief, with the well-backed Weldness and Luge holding on for a place. But Sharp and Early, well, really pinged from the stalls. He was behind Smart Estate at Goodwood, but the bell has gone, and there is a steward's inquiry to the outcome of this Scottish Equitable Gym.
That's it, and they're running. Star Streak on the far side, Defensive Play, Middle Kingdom, Coringa Bay, Private Tender, and the back marker at the moment is Blue Stag. Defensive Play going on now from Star Streak and Private Tender. Middle Kingdom on the inside, Coringa Bay, and Blue Stag the back marker. So it's Defensive Play, the Middle Kingdom on the inside of Private Tender, then Coringa Bay and Star Streak and Blue Stag. Defensive Play and Pat Edery making it from Steve Cawthon on Private Tender, with Willie Carson easing his way up on the inside now on Blue Stag to dispute the lead, in fact, now with Defensive Play. Willie, who's won no less than 4 of the last 10 runnings of this Gordon Stakes. On the inside, Pat Edery leads him on the outside on defensive play. Coringa Bay, Middle Kingdom and Private Tender prominent behind, and Star Streak now the back marker in defensive play. From Private Tender and Blue Stag on the inner, Coringa Bay, Star Streak getting closer. Middle Kingdom has dropped back to last of the sextet as they race towards the top of the hill. Defensive play and Private Tender and Blue Stag, with Star Streak going up on the outside. Coringa Bay, the locally bred horse, running strongly between Star Streak and Blue Stag. A defensive play still the leader from Private Tender. Blue Stag, Star Streak on the outside, Coringa Bay and Middle Kingdom as they begin the run downhill now. And still defensive play towards the left, towards the right, Private Tender. Then comes Blue Stag, then Middle Kingdom over on the far rail, Star Streak, and Coringa Bay now the back marker as they hit the 3 furlong pole. And it's defensive play from Blue Stag, and Willie Carson getting a beautiful run up on the inside on the favourite Blue Stag as defensive plays under pressure. Blue Stag forcing his way through, but now Star Streak is the challenger, and Coringa Bay is starting to get into top gear, racing to the furlong pole. Star Streak has taken it up now from Coringa Bay, who's finishing strongly towards the near side. The locally bred horse Coringa Bay coming to challenge them all as they race towards the line. Coringa Bay and Star Streak as they race towards the line. Coringa Bay has won it from Star Streak and Blue Stag. Coringa Bay is the winner from Star Streak and Blue Stag. Defensive play came next, and behind him was Private Tender, and last was Middle Kingdom. It looks like a great local triumph for local breeding. Coringa Bay by Ardross out of Handy Dancer, owned by Mr. Ken Higson, trained by Dennis Smith and ridden by Brown Rouse. Is in a photograph. I don't think there's any doubt that he's won it, but he's in an official photograph here with number 6, Star Streak, owned by Skill Tools Limited, trained by Mark Johnston and ridden by Walter Swinburne. Within third place, I think we'll find number 3, Blue Stag, owned by Mr. Robert Sangster, trained by Barry Hills and ridden by Willie Carson. This is Coringa Bay, whose breeding was arranged by the late Captain Ron Price, who trained Sonia here at Findon. Congratulatory pat there from Brown Rouse to Coringa Bay's lad. Think there's little doubt that this son of Ardross has won it all right. It's officially a photo, but see what you think as we review the closing stages of a dramatic Gordon Stakes with Julian Wilson.
Yes, what a race, and good to see the Derby form upheld. But you wouldn't have thought so here, would you? Because look at him, he's under pressure, he's 5th of the 6. It's here that Brown Rouse pulls him out, but as he's done so often, he finds under pressure, he really has got a heart. Blue Stag switched over to the far rails. For a moment he looked like winning as defensive play weakens here. The first beaten was Private Tender, a very disappointing run by him. But it's Star Streak, the other Northern challenger, who hits the front a furlong and a half from home. And for a moment it looked as though he and Walter Swinburne were going to win the Gordon Stakes. But on the outside, Coringa Bay is steadily wearing his rival down. He still didn't look as though he'd get there. Brown Rouse had been at work for a long time now. Blue Stag rallies terrifically well under Willie Carson's driving on the far rails, and obviously the right-hand track and that opportunity to get to the fence helped him a lot. Star Streak just in front until now, when Coringa Bay hits the front, not giving Brown Rouse the easiest of rides, but sticks his neck out, gets there on the line, going away in the end to win perhaps by half a length. Star Streak 2nd and Blue Stag 3rd. A marvellous race, and the first 3 well clear.
Yes, just the letter P in the frame, but little doubt that that's the result of the 1990 Gordon Stakes. Coringa Bay, Star Streak, Blue Stag. As Julian said, he's all heart, this horse, a real battler. By that fine stayer, Ardross, only whiskered out of the Arc de Triomphe to himself. Out of Handy Dancer by Green God. A really gutsy performance, this. Coringa Bay's lad conforming with contemporary custom and wearing